All right, let's talk about aptitude tests. You've probably taken one, right? One of those tests that claims it can peek into your future and tell you what you're meant to do. But what are they really looking for? What are they measuring?
So let's just jump right in with a puzzle. Take a look at this. This was a real question from an old Google Labs aptitude test. Now the point here isn't what you've memorized from a textbook. It's designed to see how you think. It's hunting for a certain kind of potential. And no, sorry, I am not going to give you the answer.
And that's really the whole idea behind an aptitude test. It's not a report card on your past, not at all. It's a tool, one that's designed to predict your future performance, whether that's in a new job or, your first year of college.
But hold on a second. How is that any different from an achievement test? You know what I'm talking about. All those exams we took in school that were supposed to measure what we learned in biology or history class?
Well, it really just comes down to one thing: purpose. An achievement test, that's your report card. It's all about measuring yesterday's learning, what you already know. An aptitude test, though, that's more like a crystal ball. It's trying to predict tomorrow's performance and your potential to learn something new.
So here's the crucial point. The exact same math problem could show up on both types of tests. What makes it one or the other isn't the question itself, but the goal. Is the test being used to see what you learned, or is it being used to predict how you'll do in the future? That, right there, is the key.
Okay, so this brings up a really fascinating question. How in the world do you actually build a test that can predict the future? I mean, let's say you wanted to find the next great culinary star. Where would you even begin?
Well, it turns out you'd follow a surprisingly logical four-step process. First, you've got to define what success even looks like. What separates a great chef from a pretty good one? Maybe it's incredible manual dexterity. So step 2, you create tasks, like, say, peeling an apple with absolute precision, that can actually tell the difference between high and low potential. From there, you just assemble the best tasks into a test, and then you refine and validate it over and over and over again. And when you apply that process across different fields, you get this incredible variety of tests. They're designed to spot almost every imaginable talent, and they go way beyond the academic exams we all know that we all know. For instance, you've got mechanical aptitude tests. These are absolutely crucial for jobs in things like engineering or auto repair. They focus on what are called psychomotor skills, which is basically the connection between your brain and your hands to see how you reason about physical objects.
Then you've got artistic aptitude tests, which are trying to measure creative promise. So a test might play two musical patterns and ask a kid if they're the same or different. It's testing their natural ear for music, no formal training required.
Readiness tests do exactly what they sound like. They see if a person is truly prepared for the next big step. Now, this whole idea started with figuring out if a young child had the developmental skills needed for school, but the very same logic now applies to tests like the GRE, which tries to predict if a student is ready for the tough world of graduate school.
And finally, there are clerical tests. These measure something super specific: your speed and your accuracy. Can you quickly, and I mean quickly, spot the difference between two really long strings of numbers or names without making a single mistake? For any kind of detail-oriented job, that skill is absolutely critical. So you can really see the sheer range here. You've got the SAT, which is all about predicting college readiness. Then there's the ASVAB, used for counseling folks in the armed forces. And then you have something as specific as the Minnesota Clerical Test, which just hones in on that one particular skill of high-speed accuracy.
Okay, so we've got all these tests, and they're all making these huge claims about being able to predict the future. Which, of course, leads us to the most important question of all. Does the crystal ball actually work? How do we even know if a test is any good? The value of any aptitude test really hinges on one critical idea, something called predictive validity. And the proof is actually pretty simple. You have to be able to show a clear correlation between the scores on the test and how someone actually performs down the line. To put it in really simple terms, predictive validity just asks one question. Do people who get high scores on this test actually do well later on? So if the SAT is a valid aptitude test, then high SAT scores should, correlate with high grades during that first year of college. Makes sense, right?
But it's not just about predicting the future. That predictive validity has to be balanced with something called reliability. A good test has to be stable. I mean, if you take the test on a Monday and then again on a Friday, your score shouldn't be wildly different. The result has to be consistent, not just some random fluke.
So when you boil it all down, aptitude tests represent this really powerful shift in thinking.
They're a tool for looking beyond what you've already done to try and get a glimpse of your future potential. It's not about what you know, it's not what you could do.
And when you look at it that way, it changes everything. The test stops being this final judgment on your past and becomes, well, an open door to your future. It's an opportunity. So the next time you're facing one, ask yourself, what potential will you be trying to unlock?